Well, good morning. It's Sunday, June 7th, probably about 10 a.m. And I'm around 8,500 feet, maybe 9,000 feet up on Togedy Pass. I'll check the elevation and post it up above. But I'm headed to Absaroka Pass, and I'm just about to enter halfway meadow. I've camped here a few times in the winter. I've never been here. Oh yeah, I have been here this time of year. On Absaroka summer courses. I'm trying to be fairly quiet. I want to see a bear, but not too close. And if you want to see a YouTube channel that does a really good job of posting about bears, grizzly bears, and other wildlife, and that I recommend is Stan Mills. Stan, I don't know Stan personally. I'm guessing he lives probably in Bozeman, and he does a lot of hikes in the northern part of Yellowstone National Park or just outside the boundary, and he sees lots of bears, and he does a great job of videoing them. So it's a YouTube channel I highly recommend for wildlife. I was wanting to walk up Absaroka Peak, but that depends on how the weather is. Right now, I'm getting a little bit of rain. Right behind me there, you can see Absaroka Peak, and I will show it now. And that's Absaroka Peak. That's my goal. And this is, I guess, what they call a halfway meadow. I'm not sure. Been here many times in the winter. Been here, like I said earlier, camping. It's one of the first night campsites with courses from Knowles. And it's just a great place to visit. I have done avalanche beacon practice here in this meadow. And I had a episode a few years ago that I had the hardest time finding two buried beacons. Normally I like to think I'm pretty good at it. I'm definitely not the best, but I looked for one for, seemed like 20 minutes. I never gave up, but that's kind of unacceptable time when you're looking for two buried beacons. And I still don't know what my problem was that day. And maybe it wasn't quite 20 minutes, but something like that. Anyway, here we go. Well, I've just gotten up to Absaroka Pass. There's a little bit of snow up here, but it's not that much. And it's going to melt out quickly. The way the weather looks and the snow has slowed me down, I don't think I'm going to make Absaroka Peak. I'm at 9,960 feet and a little over 1,000 feet higher. It's not the elevation, it's just the weather. Haven't seen any lightning or heard any thunder, but it does look a little ominous. And there's been rain and grapple coming through from time to time. I don't think the weather's the biggest concern. It's just moving slow. And I'll show you what I'm looking at. So that, it looks like a ridge, which it is, but that's Brescia Peak. And you can see it's pretty dark all around. And then behind me, you can see, if I bring it in, I think that's known as Cell Tower Peak or Radar Peak, something like that. I've never been up there, but there's two items up there. That's the one I'm thinking. There's another peak there, right there. And that's across from Brescia, which is right where I'm going up there. So I'm going to walk a little bit further and see how it goes. Maybe the weather will change for the good. Well, I'm headed back down from Brescia Pass. It was a good hike, rather short, not a lot of elevation gain. I'm actually kind of anxious to see what the elevation gain is. I think it might be, I'm going to guess, 900 feet. And then I'll check when I get back to the roadhead. I've been surprised I didn't see a lot of bear sign. I saw some very old bear tracks in the mud, probably from last year even. They look like they were cemented in, so I'm pretty sure they were old. But nothing on the snow. Did see a moose track in the snow further down near one of the creeks, but nothing up above, and no deer, no elk. So my guess is the majority of wildlife is definitely down at lower elevations where there's good grazing now, which might sound odd to some people, but that includes the bears. They're down where there's a lot of grass and roots that are for them to dig up to eat. So we're seeing, I think, bears have been awake for quite a while. Probably some of them for 2 months or longer because it was so warm. But my guess is that the majority are still at lower elevations. I drove to an area on Togety Pass that there has been a mother grizzly the last 3 summers that feeds with her little ones right near the highway and doesn't seem to have any concern whatsoever for people stopping. So I drove out there to see if I could spot her this year. And I don't think she's been around yet. I've been over the pass a number of times, Togety Pass, and I haven't seen her yet. And unfortunately, the best way to see game along the highways in Wyoming is you see a line of cars parked on the shoulder, and they're trying to get a good view of the animals. And that just doesn't apply to Yellowstone National Park or Grand Teton National Park. It applies to Togety Pass. They even have a person from the Forest Service that patrols a 3 to 4 mile section just to keep people moving when they do spot bears or grizzlies or moose along the road, and creates a traffic jam. And it also creates danger because some people will still be driving by the congestion at 60, 70 miles per hour. Anyway, it's been a good walk, and I'm glad I had my bear spray nonetheless. I don't relish the thought of getting knocked down by a bear. Well, I'm almost to the roadhead, and that's the end of the hike up Brescia Pass. And it was a good hike. I enjoyed it. And I didn't realize how many little creek crossings you have, because like I said, all of my visits to Brescia, or the majority, not all, have been in the wintertime, and everything's pretty frozen, and it makes for easy crossing of the creeks. I'm going to drive back out on Togadi Pass to the overlook. I'm so curious if these bears have come out, and if they're out there on the fields grazing. So that's it for this video, and I will post something if I see some bears. Oh, and I forgot. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to have a lot more this summer of hiking in the Absarokas, Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton National Park, and my hope is to see more wildlife. I would love to be able to take videos, as I said earlier, like Stan Mills, who seems to be covering the northern part of the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. Anyway, thanks again.